Hey, I'm Bubba.
And I'm John.
We use our questionable and sometimes traumatic childhood experiences to hopefully become better parents.
We might not succeed,
But listen,
they're fine.
our dog is right next to me.
Yeah, Brandon is having his dog with us tonight.
The problem is when I come in here and write during the day, she sits on this couch. So she's chomping at the bit to get in. But we're dog sitting our friend's dog for a week. And also I should let you know my wife's leaving town for 5 days, and I'm going to have both kids and these dogs. Yeah. And I'm not even complaining. So you should let your wife know about that. But I've got this dog here who's desperate, and she's sleeping in the corner, but she might get up and walk around, and I'll have to kick her out or pet her.
And it's also fairly windy outside.
Oh, yeah, because there's a storm. But we'll just see how it is. How are you, my best friend?
I'm great, buddy. I just got back. I was out of town for just a couple days. We went out of town for the long weekend with the kids, and we went to Santa Barbara.
What did you do there?
We wanted to take the kids to the zoo and feed the giraffe.
There's only one left, huh?
Well, there's two there now, yeah. But there was, anyway, yeah, they have giraffes, and you can feed them, and it's really fun. It's a really great zoo.
I guess you said giraffe is plural. You said we fed the giraffe.
I mean, we just fed a singular giraffe, but there are more than one.
You said the giraffe, and it kind of sounded like it was like the famous giraffe. And then you said, no, there's giraffes. And I was like, oh, maybe one of them got canceled or something.
Okay, so yeah, this may be a little confusing. There was a famous giraffe at the Santa Barbara Zoo. It had a crooked neck.
Oh, God.
So it was perfectly healthy other than that. It had this weird birth defect where, about halfway up its neck, it just made like a 45-degree angle. And
I picture the cartoon version. They put them on the train from the book. They shut the top, neck
and it cracked. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Hilarity ensues. But that giraffe passed away a few years ago. So they did have a famous giraffe. Now they just have normal, standard, straight-necked giraffes.
Well, they have company. That's good. How's it being back there? We should say, for the purposes of radio, John and I met 20 years ago, maybe a little more. And it was in Santa Barbara. Yes. I had moved from Michigan to Santa Barbara for my first marriage. And John hired me at a cafe in Summerlin, part of Santa Barbara, and I was a little filmmaker wannabe a little Steven Soderbergh, and he was a little wannabe what? What would you say?
Punk rocker, musician.
Was there anybody specific?
No.
Alice Cooper?
You, gross. No.
AC
Alice
or DC?
Cooper. No. I mean, I was playing in punk rock bands, and a coffee shop was a great job for me because I could work early, get off work, and then drive down to LA and play shows. Rock all night.
Rock all night.
So yes, we did meet in Santa Barbara, and so I still have very much a soft spot for Santa Barbara. That's also where I went to college. So we wanted to kind of make a weekend of it with the kids, take them to the zoo. They wanted to see where I went to college, so we took them to UCSB to see the campus, which was fun, and walked around Isla Vista, kind of showed them the
IV.
Yeah.
Because you need liquid IV after, because it's a big party school.
Big party school, yeah. But it was really fun. They had a really good time. It was one of those trips. It was a short trip, but when we got home, Catherine and I were talking about it, and she said, you know what? Like, I feel it's one of those trips where I'm just like, we did a good job.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say on the way home, she goes, I don't think I want to be married anymore. And she jumps out of the car.
Sure.
And tumbles on the side of the road.
That would have been funnier. No, but it was just one of those where when you have kids and you take trips, a lot of times there's some meltdown, some catastrophe happens, and that kind of colors the whole trip, right?
Yeah.
But this time we got home and we just thought, we fucking did a great job. The kids had a great time. There were no fights. We had so much fun. It was a short trip. It was just, 2 days, but we had a really good time. And the kids, I mean, we got to expose them to some fun things. And, for me, it's very, I don't know if it's selfish or what the word is exactly, but it's fun because I get to show them all these fun places where I went to college and kind of,
That's
had a
how
lot
it
of
is
fun
when I
adult
take the
life.
kids back to my hometown.
Yeah.
But I go, hey, we almost burned that building down. That's where I was molested.
It feels a little...
I used to jump off that train I used to shoplift at that liquor store.
Yeah,
and
you tell
somebody
them all
shot at me with a 9mm. Those kinds of things.
all your hobo stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like a little narcissistic almost because it's all about you, right? So I'm going,
No, but the kids,
that's
like,
where I used to go to study.
Here's the
That's where
thing.
I used to walk around.
kids, it's different if you're like with your adult kids or
Mhm.
like teenage kids who are like, you fucking suck, Dad.
Sure.
But like little kids, even when we were on a Christmas trip and went around the Midwest, our kids are 4 and 6. Jenna pulled out this old photo album in her mom's basement. The kids like didn't understand that Jenna used to be a child
Yeah.
or a young adult.
Yeah.
So the lore, now I have crazy lore.
But no, the kids are genuinely interested. They're like, this is where you got pizza and studied. Oh my gosh, let's
I
get
think
pizza
there's
there.
something like when I remember being little and my dad would show me hillbilly shit.
Sure.
That like there's something weird with your child brain where you're like, what do you mean you were a child?
Yeah.
It's like how Henry has all these questions. Like he even asked me the other night of like, why? He goes, why did you and Mom grow me on this planet? And I go, what?
Fair question.
He goes, why did you grow me here? And I was kind of like, you are an alien.
Yeah.
You are legitimate.
You're not a ficus. Why did you grow
Why
me
did
here?
you grow me here? And I go, well, you grew in your mom's belly, which naturally he's like, what do you mean? And then I kind of explained it. And he's like, so I came out of her vagina. And I was like, yeah. He's like, did I crawl out? And I was like, no. I mean, you kind of slipped out because you're baby number 2. But trying to like explain it. And he's like, but was Mom a baby then? And it's like, Maggie's obviously older, smarter, but to an extent. But like wrapping, there's something almost cosmic for a child to like picture their parent younger, doing younger things. Even if you're like college, it's like school to them.
Totally.
So I think it's doubly interesting.
I think that's absolutely right. Yeah. They're wrapping their head around you not being their parent and doing, things that they can relate to in life where they go, oh, you were in school and you studied.
Yeah.
Like they understand what these things are.
But it's good for kids though, because I think you create a timeline. Like I remember my dad bringing me to the little, we called them city college.
Sure.
And him being like, and this is where I did my drafting program.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, you will be a draftman too, which believe me, they tried. Like I can't draw a straight line.
I can't think of a worse job for you.
Well, it was like, that was his way of like, it was almost like old school Bruce Springsteen, like there's a little factory and you work in the factory. My dad was like, I was a draftsman and you'll be a draftsman. And I had Mr. Grossman, who was my dad's draftsman, and like in high school. And Mr. Grossman was like, he would walk out to go smoke and come back in class kind of guy. And he goes, your dad, you don't got what it takes. And I was like, I couldn't focus.
I mean, you're kind of dressed like a draftsman from the 50s right now.
I kind of am.
You look like you could work at NASA back when they launched to the moon.
I kind of do. I like this situation.
It's a good look.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
all a little too tight, honestly. Well, that's cool with the kids.
Yeah, it was fun.
Where's Catherine take the kids to be like, this is where I grew up?
Well, I mean, if we're doing tit for tat here, she went to college in Chicago. She went to Northwestern.
Oh, yeah.
So
you guys got to do a Chicago trip then, because
We've talked
also
about
for the
it, yeah.
listeners, Johnny and I also lived in Chicago.
Boy, it's a real memory road tonight.
Not on purpose.
No,
But it
separately.
we ended up there.
Yeah.
I know this is an intro segment, but like, I wonder in regards to nostalgia, like, how do you feel going back to those cities? Because we were both married to other people in those cities, and like sometimes I read this thing and my ex and I didn't have a bad relationship, but there is like a sadness sometimes when you think back of like, oh, like this life that ended in a way, but you have all these memories in X town with them, and kind of this idea of like reclaiming new memories in those places with the new love of your
I
life.
like that idea.
Yeah. And Santa Barbara was kind of like a little weird for me with that, because all my memories were with my ex and her friends and all those things. And then Jenna and I went to a wedding, to our friends Rowan David's wedding, whose we're dog sitting now, and they have 2 kids.
It's a lot
up
of
in
names.
Santa Barbara.
A lot of names.
I need people to write them down. But Rosanna and David are friends from church, who used to run our house church, and they got married in Santa Barbara. Beautiful wedding in the hills, in the midst of a wildfire, naturally. So there's like smoke crusting on the hill. But they were these like cool new memories. So that kind of tiny little sting goes away, because you're bringing your kids up to this place and your wife, and it's not just like, oh, I can't, that town is full of those memories with that person.
Sure, you associate that town and everything you've done there with a human you were in a very serious relationship with.
And now you're claiming these memories with your kids.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's not like, this is our town now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, now I have lots of memories in this town.
I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Chicago's cool for that too, because I had all those memories. But I had a play go up, reading of a new play I did a few years back, and took Jenna, and it was like I took her through Lincoln Park. I took her through Old
Isn't that
Town.
fun?
And it was like September, the leaves are starting to change. It was the most gorgeous. We were walking everywhere. She's like, this is the greatest town.
Really fun to be able to take your spouse and your kids to a place that you know really well and kind of get to be the tour guide a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? It's fun.
And the kids loved Chicago when we went through on that same trip over the winter, and we ended up staying at our friends Heather and Dusty's because of the whole snowstorm.
God damn, so many names, Brandon.
I like to shout it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to shout it out.
Yeah.
So I can see him. I can go, I talked about you on my show.
Yeah. You're like
I don't like when they go, we had a friend, unless if it's like a friend stole from me all my prescription medication.
You like to throw out like 30 to 40 new names per episode.
I love it. And you know what? I'm building a world. That's the important thing.
Write it all down, folks. Your
For
bingo
the big
card.
fans, it's all connected.
You need a bingo card every time
it's a Kevin
gives
Smith
a new name.
movie, but terrible. No, all Kevin Smith movies are, though. Let's be honest. Okay, well, I'll leave it at that. That sounds magical. I mean, the kids are getting at that age, John. Like, when we drive up to Tahoe with these motherfuckers, I have thought, truly, I'm not being jokey here, Your Honor, of crashing the car on purpose. 12 hours in the car
when
with
you
them.
do, I mean,
And last year was great.
Yeah, you do a yearly trip to Tahoe where you drive up there with the kids because you have a timeshare because it's the 1980s in your household.
Yeah. Maybe not for long because there's some hostile takeover of the timeshare.
Timeshare in Tahoe that you guys drive up to every year. I always think you're insane. Every year when this comes up around July, I go, here, he's going to fucking do it again.
Every June, you notice I start to get really cagey and depressed.
Yeah. And I'm like, he's going to do the 9-hour drive to Tahoe.
You see me,
with
you come over, you look in the window, and I just have an old revolver that I'm just swirling the barrel around, opening and closing it. Yeah, I hate it.
But what you were saying is, it sounds like the last time, not so bad.
It wasn't so bad. And we have tried everything. We've tried flying there. We've tried driving halfway and staying the night in Bishop, which is known for mule days, and then driving the other half of it. And it's awful, awful. The kids are awful. I want to throw them out the window. I want to crash the car. Makes you want to smoke. Makes you want to drink. Makes you want to die. And for some reason, this last one, we powered through the whole way.
Yeah.
There wasn't like one meltdown, maybe. The kids were fine. They can use their own pads, which we give them free range. Do whatever you want. Pads, snacks, eat it all. Fun dip. I don't care. Burn the back seat of the car.
Don't care.
As long as it gets us there. And it wasn't that bad. And I was like, I think we turned a corner. There's been these moms that I've talked to who have kids a little bit older, like your older one's age. And they go, once you get right about there, there's a sweet spot
around
of like
9,
5-6 years.
Yeah.
Actually, 4 years where it's really nice and you can do long trips and the kids are great. They haven't become horrible teenagers yet.
So you attribute it, I think you're right, but just to call it out, you attribute it to age. Once they get to a certain age, you can travel with them and it's not miserable.
They can pick out their own food. They can eat their own food. They know their limits. They can operate their own electronics. They can wipe their own butts. They know when they have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
They know how to nap if they need to take a nap. It just gets a little easier because they're more manageable. And they can communicate their needs more. If they're like, I want to do that. It's not just whiny. It's like they're old enough that you can go, why are you upset? And they can go, well, because of this, instead of just screaming.
I think that's right. And also for us, I've noticed the sleeping arrangements become a lot easier when they're really young. Not just the drive, right, which can be a pain in the ass, or the flight, whatever you do, right? But once you're there, when you have really young kids, they go to bed so early. They need their own room so you don't disturb them. Once they start getting older, this time on the trip, we just had one room. And it was fine.
And you're skipping the nap.
Yeah, there's no nap. And we all went to bed at the same time. Yeah. Which we could never do in the past.
Wow.
Right?
You did one room.
Yeah.
So no hanky-panky, obviously.
No. What are we, fucking newlyweds? No. Get out of Dodge.
I haven't heard that in a long time. What are you, newlyweds?
No. But we just did one room and it was fine. We all went to bed at, 9 o'clock.
Where'd you guys stay, by the way?
In Carpinteria.
You got a place?
We got a hotel.
Oh, cool.
We don't have a timeshare.
Well,
Like,
it's funny
our
you say that.
hoity-toity friends.
I brought a brochure. Dude, this timeshare, the opposite of hoity-toity.
Yeah.
This is like great outdoors shit. This place, it's going downhill, man.
You guys are going to sell your timeshare and go on a cruise.
We're not even going to be able to. There's some corporation that took over the timeshare, and they're slowly just letting it get shittier and shittier.
I told you timeshares are a scam, dude.
Well, this scam's been going on since 1978 when Jenna's grandparents bought it, so they got a good run.
Oh, man. Well,
You know?
you got a good run out of it. I'm glad to hear it.
Welcome back to AutoCAD Tonight. That's a joke.
This joke's
from
going to be lost
mechanical engineers.
on our audio only listeners.
It's because I look like a draftsman. Update, since we've been talking about the world that I'm building with this show.
all the names. All the names.
And that's that Gertrude died.
Okay. So
The old lady.
Gertrude from last week.
Yeah.
This is an alias, by the way.
Yeah.
To our
This is an alias.
Yeah. We normally don't each episode we try to make sure you don't need to have too much backstory, but this does beg repeating. Last week you were speaking about your older neighbor. We affectionately named her Gertrude to protect her anonymity.
Yeah.
She died since
She
last
died
week.
Since last week. Because last week I was talking about how she went in, she fell. She would walk every day, talk to her kids when she'd be out front. She couldn't hear them if she didn't have her hearing aid. But she was really old. She was like the lady in the Titanic, and she was real nice.
Okay.
And
we named him Norman.
Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And Norman, we wanted to go see him, but see her in the assisted living, but he was kind of cagey about it.
Sure.
And now I know why, because he came over and told us that she passed away. In her sleep.
Okay.
It was peaceful.
Okay.
But we felt, I felt bad.
I mean, you were fond of her. Sounds like a very sweet older neighborhood that
The
you had a
kid-
nice relationship
Yeah,
with.
I mean, the kids loved her, and I think I kind of talked about like normalizing your kids being around old people, because we kind of shut them away in this country, and normalizing getting to know your neighbors. Now, I know you don't want them all to come over for dinner, but I at least like to get their names and see how they're doing, because sometimes they're going through stuff. One of our neighbors down the street, she was going through chemo, and you drop stuff off. You just
You like to know all of your neighbors, their medical ailments, their
yeah,
family members.
what country they immigrated from.
Sure.
So I can report them.
It's a lot to unpack.
No, but just like I like to know, what their deal is. And look, I know you don't think it means anything, but I wanted to prove you wrong, because my wife wrote. We had this lady's family's numbers, when we first moved in, and I was checking in, and I saw the daughters coming to see her. I was like, hey, we live next door. Obviously, I'm super strong and able-bodied. If you need anything, here's my number. I'll get yours. So we had their number for 5 years.
You are a pro number exchanger.
Pro number
You have
exchange.
everybody's number. They've all got yours.
I got a business card that says, if you need a quiche, give me a reach. Because I love to bake a quiche for people.
I could see the gears turning. You were looking for the rhyme.
I should have started the other way. I took a musical improv class. I know you don't think it's meaningful. and all that,
No.
But let me read you, because she passed away.
So what are you gonna read us here?
I'm gonna read you two things.
Okay.
And one is a message that my wife wrote. My wife is Jenna Ogborn. She's a labor and delivery nurse. She's got a great haircut. No, she wrote this beautiful thing. And then, so I'm going to read you what my wife wrote them.
Okay.
And I'm going to read you their response.
The siblings.
The siblings, the adult siblings.
Got it.
I won't say their names. My wife said, hello, my name is Jenna Ogborn. Your brother came over this evening to tell us that your mom passed away earlier in the week. We're so sad to hear this news, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to both you and your families. We loved living next door to your mom. She was so kind to us and always showed interest in our small kids, Maggie and Henry. She would happily take time when they would run over to talk to her and show her something or deliver treats to her door. She would drop off special books for them, and they always loved those books. Your mom was a wonderful woman, and we were always impressed to see her out walking daily. Henry was a baby when we bought this house, and she was always in awe to watch him grow over the years. Henry loves to chit-chat, and even though I'm not sure she could always hear what he was saying, she always intently listened. Maggie brought your mom some oranges from the tree in the backyard on Christmas Day, and they shared such a tender hug and embrace. We were in talks with your brother to try to arrange to see her in the rehab facility, so she knew we were thinking of her. Sending all our love as you remember your mom, and know that she will always be remembered on this street. That part gets me a little choked up.
That's very sweet.
Because having lost my dad, like, all you want to know is that people remembered your parent.
Yeah.
And she was so old, you're just like, maybe nobody will notice it, that she's gone. And some people don't. Even neighbors a couple doors down, they didn't know. That in and of itself was sweet.
That is a very sweet message that your wife did not have to send that message, right?
No.
She took it upon herself to put together a very sweet message to that family that probably meant a lot to them, right?
Well, it did, because I'm going to read you what they wrote back. And this also got me a little choked up. Dear Jenna, Brandon, Maggie, and Henry, thank you so much for reaching out upon the passing of our mother, Gertrude. It has been a hard loss for our family, and your caring message means a great deal. She loved your children so much. Maggie and Henry were a source of brightness and enrichment in her life. When she heard them playing outside, to see them up front of her house, she would go up to the porch and watch them out the window. She was delighted by them and loved to talk to us about her little next door neighbors and how quickly they were growing up and changing. Henry had a special place in her heart. She was so proud to be his friend and felt quite bonded to him. My mother lived at that house for over 40 years, and she always enjoyed good relationships with her neighbors on the block. But your family was very special to her, and she often spoke of your kindness and the warmth the kids gave her. Thank you for being such a wonderful and true friend to her, and bringing so many moments to make her smile and share with her family in her final years. That is a loving and comforting memory for all of us. Isn't that? I'm sorry. This is the first time I cried on this podcast.
Is there an addendum to that says, and there's nothing she prized more than her privacy. So please never speak of her in any public forum.
No, it's just like, I don't know. I love old people, and I feel terrible. I don't think they're necessarily treated poorly, but I think where it hits me is it's such a broken world right now. And I think I speak for a lot of people that you just feel helpless of what are we going to do with the way things are going. And to just know that, like, you can do something. You can talk to the old person on your block. You can bring them some oranges. You can have your kids run a Christmas card by. You can do something to help somebody on your block.
I think at a real, like, low, because you're absolutely right. Everything we see in the national and international news, like, I really don't care. I know this all sounds so cliche. I don't care what side of what political issues people are on. Everybody feels frustrated and helpless, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost debilitating, right?
It is.
But
I feel it.
You can make a big difference at a local and a community level, right?
And we all say that. We've been saying, constantly, we're not supposed to wake up and see all this international news. It's so horrible. We're not meant to know what's going on over here. Right. Yeah. We're meant to know what's on our block. So do something on your block.
And I think this is a great example
Just
of
do
it.
something. And I'm not saying it like I do so much on my block. I just mean, like, you can do something.
I mean, you are saying a little bit.
I am, like, a little bit. I'm
you're
like,
bragging a little bit.
I am better. I am better than you, John. I'm a better person.
I mean,
no.
That was the subtext here, but now you're just coming out and saying it.
Yeah. Well, it does remind me. It reminds me of an alternate version of this story.
Okay.
Which is funnier. Which is years ago. Because also, I don't have any time right now because I have kids. Mm-hmm. But years ago, when we lived in this other part of Long Beach, I was walking my wife's elderly dog, and this dog had to go potty all the time.
This was pre-kids.
This is pre-kids. Jenna's old dog. I'm walking around the block late at night. I was working on telephone stories our Michael Jackson podcast.
The podcast that, is very different podcast that I scored and you did an excellent job on.
And featured the rest in peace late Reverend Jesse Jackson, who just passed away, who I interviewed and got to meet for that show.
You did interview him for that show. That's right.
Yeah, and got to talk to him about Michael Jackson. I got to meet him. Yeah, wrote the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Hey, everybody, go listen to Telephone Stories.
Go listen.
Great podcast. You can see what Brandon and I can do when we're not just shooting the shit.
Yeah. Serious podcast. There's some fun in it, but it's a lot more journalistic. But got to interview Jesse Jackson. In any event, I was working late at night on that, walking her dog, and I saw some ambulances out on this block, loading an old guy in a stretcher. And then I came back later that night, early in the morning, with the same dog who had to go pee all the time. And there's some people in the house, and the house was dark, and I was like, hello? Like, should I lock up this house? And they were some also good-to-do neighbors. One of them's name is Kelly, who we still see at the neighbors' events. Yeah. And she was like, oh, this old guy's name's Bill.
Okay.
He used to be in the Navy. His wife died in the house. He was in his 80s. He had a fall, cracked his head in the ambulance, blah, blah, blah. But he was going to get out in the morning. It was just some stitches. And I said, I live right on this place. She goes, well, because she also said, I have a job. And his son's up in Tahoe to check on him. And I said, well, I'm around.
Here's my phone number.
Truly, I can make a quiche. So I started this whole network with Kelly and some of the other neighbors to check on Bill. So then I used to kind of go by and spend time with him and, help him block telemarketer calls and stuff like that. And he'd tell me his old tales of being in the Navy and traveling around and this or that. But then it got to be a little much when we had our daughter Maggie. I was like, I can't go, I'm full time with this baby. So I just kind of see him. And then as COVID started, I saw him kind of getting shipped off to a nursing home, and I said goodbye to him.
You're seeing the evolution of this man's...
de-evolution, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I said goodbye to Bill, and he saw Maggie kind of pushing a walker, and he actually had this great joke. He goes, hers is a little smaller than mine, because he had a walker. And I was like, oh, this is it for this guy. Yeah. So a couple years went by, COVID ended, and then I saw Kelly at the old neighborhood get together, and I said, oh, I didn't really know her that well as I do now, but I said, whatever happened to that old guy, Bill? I assume he died in the nursing home like everybody else during COVID.
During COVID, yeah.
And she said, well, because he was also stationed in Okinawa and all over, and then also in Long Beach down by the port there at one of the naval areas. And she said, no, actually, he did not die in a nursing home. One of the other neighbors and I took him on a trip. He was able to get out of the nursing home, and we went to Reno.
She won up to you. She's like, you just exchanged numbers. I took him on a trip, buddy.
I know you would bring groceries to him and make him dinner.
That's not how I do it.
And visit. She goes, I took him on a trip to Reno, and we went to this old casino, and we saw kind of an offbeat Vegas show. And Bill ordered what he always wanted, and he used to have with his wife, a T-bone steak and a gin martini with 2 olives. And he choked to death on the T-bone right in front of us with a smile on his face.
What the fuck?
And I just could not believe it. And I fact-checked it, and the guy sure did. I checked with the other neighbors.
Choked to death?
Choked
to
death.
Did he have a heart attack, or he literally just, his airway was blocked?
They said his eyes rolled back, and he fell off the chair, and they couldn't revive him. And it was at the show.
Wow.
And I said, good God, what did they put him in a nursing or in a cemetery or something? I could go pay respects over here.
Sure.
And she said, no, the other neighbor worked construction, and he was working on that bridge over in San Pedro, the new one.
They put a new bridge here between Long Beach and San Pedro a couple of years back.
Big, beautiful bridge.
Yeah, big suspension bridge, yeah.
And she said the neighbor was doing construction on that bridge for a number of years, and after Bill died, they had him cremated, and she said he poured the ashes into one of the pylons, or not the pylons, up at the top there before they filled it with cement. And she said, so he can overlook the San Pedro Bay and the harbor like he always wanted.
They poured Bill into the bridge.
Into the bridge.
Sure.
And I said, is that legal? And she said, probably not.
No, definitely not.
But what a way to go out.
Wow.
Old
neighbors, huh?
Old neighbors, man. But it was one of those things, I think Louis C.K. said at one time, of helping an old Ukrainian lady at the airport. He kind of helped her. She was lost, and then it's a great bit. And he kind of was like, oh, it's over here. And then it wasn't there. And then he spends the whole time at the airport. And he says, I went from helping an old lady to having an old lady. And there was a line with Bill where I went from helping an old guy to having an old guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Like they are your responsibility.
Yeah, where it's like, where you call and be like, where are you? You know, can you get me this at the store? I want this ice cream. And I'm like, dude, I got a fucking newborn. Eventually I had to be like, sorry, bro. But he had like a Jamaican nurse and stuff. I was like, okay,
sounds like he had a lot of neighbors that
he got his son finally like got him assisted, you know, a nurse and stuff. So I was like, happy for you, man.
Well, sounds like Bill went out with a bang.
I think he truly did.
And I mean he's in the bridge.
He's in the bridge.
I mean he died with a T-bone steak and a gin martini.
What more do you want?
What do you want in this life?
What do you want?
You know? He's got neighbors taking him on trips.
It's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
here's to Bill.
Here's to Bill.
All right.
And to Gertrude.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break because I heard you got some neighbor lore I need to hear about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can take a break here, but we'll come back and I'll talk about my experiences with neighbors, which is quite different than yours.
John, you live on a street in America.
I do.
And I remember when you bought.
Thanks for framing this so people know I'm a human.
You're made of flesh.
Yeah.
You had some neighbor issues. I remember you had some issues. I have not really had issues per se, but you had a pretty comical one that I felt deserved to be told.
Yes. So we referenced
for the public record.
Yeah, we teased this last week. So when we bought our house, we, you go and do the viewings of the house. And when we bought, we even commented, we were like, man, look at all this street parking. There's so much street parking. Like, you know what? Because that is a problem in some of these neighborhoods where we live, where, there's it appears to be a lot of street parking, but there's always, street sweeping on different sides. Yeah. So there's a lot of moving of cars around. And, some streets are just worse than others where there's just a lot of extra cars and you struggle to find street parking. So we were like, oh man, this is great. And plenty street parking as far as the eye could see, we're like, oh, look at this. We moved into our house a few years ago and all of a sudden these large commercial pickup trucks start showing up being parked in front of our house.
Some look like semi-trucks with flatbeds.
I mean, these are not just your regular pickup truck normal people drive. These are the big roof racks on them, trailers attached to them.
Honking trucks.
Yeah, diesel trucks.
Diesel. Yeah.
I mean, these are serious trucks that start showing up. It wasn't all at once. It was one here, one there, and they're starting to park in front of our house, specifically our house.
In your view of the dried riverbed and the power lines. Is that right?
It was really blocking it, But I mean, it's not so much. It's like it's fine, They're not blocking our ocean view.
People are sensitive about parking in front of their house. So even in this neighborhood where we also have a lot of parking, because I also was from the ghetto of parking in Long Beach, where it could take you 45 minutes an hour to find a spot. Here, there's plenty of it. But one time we drove some friends to the airport, and they said, "Oh, can we leave our car here?" And I said, "Yeah." And a week went by, and some of the neighbors were like, "Hey, it's us. That car has been in front of our house. Could you move it?"
There is a kind of some cultural norms, definitely. I mean, it's different everywhere, right? But on these residential neighborhoods where it's single-family homes, it's not really apartment complexes. There's kind of an unspoken rule where the area in front of your house is kind of your parking. Right?
It's so weird.
And it's not that people can't park there. People have parties. People park there. But if cars are regularly parking in front of your house all the time, it is kind of going, what's going on here?
I don't even care, but nobody ever parks in front of our house except us. And when somebody does on the off chance, I am up at that window with my nose and I'm like, who is this? What are they doing here? So I get it.
You get it. So, and it's not just once or twice. It's starting to become every day. This is their spot. These are just here all the time now. These trucks.
These big ass trucks that are like 10 feet high.
What is going on here? And I realize it's the neighbor across the street and, 2 doors down. He's got a concrete company, and these are his fleet of vehicles, right? These are his fleet of trucks.
Yeah.
And they've got these concrete trailers and going, okay, Jesus, what's going on here? So
now, how long? Go ahead, and then I'll begin the questions because I have many.
I'm sure you do, yeah. So, my wife and I kind of talk about it, and I go, okay, well, maybe I'll park in front of the house, to try to block some of our spaces so he can't park there. But I have an EV, so I want to park in our driveway so I can charge. She doesn't want to have to deal with street parking either. So we're going like, okay, I eventually get some of those slow down kids at play signs.
Oh, you mean is it the cutout guy?
Yeah, it's like a little green thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like a
we got
cutout
one
kid.
of those.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So I get a couple of those and I put them in front of our house in those spots. One goes missing.
Oh.
All of a sudden one goes missing and he starts parking there again. And then with all this...
I love the movie version. It comes back, its head's cut off.
Yeah. I mean, this is becoming, an arms race now where I'm trying to park there sometimes. And then I leave and I come back and all of a sudden, I go to lunch and all of a sudden I come back and all the trucks are there.
Wow.
I go, Jesus Christ. And so...
Is this guy alone?
So I'll get into it.
Okay. All right.
So,
I'll save all my questions for the end.
Save your questions. So there'll be a Q&A section.
Okay.
And so also with the street sweeping, he has to move these things from one side of the street to the other all the time.
It's so loud.
Right? So they're so loud. And I start joking around where I call it the truckle shuffle. Like, I'm like, oh, Tom's doing the old truckle shuffle again. And,
oh, wait, can we say his real name?
oh, yeah, we're saying his name, Tom. Yeah.
Fuck
So-
you, Tom.
so-
No, but for real.
I mean, it's just becoming an issue. And I go, okay, I need to talk to this guy. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go talk to Tom. So I see him out there one day.
What's he doing?
And he's doing the truckle shuffle.
He's got an old cigar stump in his mouth kind of guy?
You're picturing him right. This is an old, overweight white man.
Hey.
Right? Very haggard.
Yeah.
And
he looks like that character actor from Hot Lead and Cold Feet. I'm trying to think of his name.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, look it up.
You love names.
I do.
So
You love names, don't you?
So I go and I say, hey, Tom. I'm like, I'm just going to try to reason with them, okay? So I go, hey, I know you've got your trucks here for work. Is there any chance you could maybe park them on your side of the street?
Did you sound like this much of a pussy when you were talking to him?
In my mind, I sounded very reasonable.
Did you have this like a similar outfit to this, or did you put on like bad boy kind of stuff?
I had a baseball bat.
Because I kind of code switch. I'd come out and be like, "Hey, what year's this one? She sure is a beaut."
2001 F350.
Oh man, that was the year.
Yeah,
that was the year 9/11. Don't ever forget that, man.
That was back before they fuel injected it, huh? Okay.
You served? Did you serve the country?
No,
I knew a guy. Anyways, you think you could move these? Because I like to see in case there's crime.
Well, you know what, Brandon? Maybe I should have done that because I didn't. I went out there just very reasonably and I said, hey, Tom, would there be any chance you could, move these trucks to their side of the street? Sometimes he says, oh, would you need to park here right now? I said, no, I don't need to park here right now.
And he goes, pussy. I said, do you need to park here right now?
And I said, no, I don't need to park here right now. I just meant in general, it would be helpful if the trucks weren't here. You just start these trucks every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. They're diesel trucks. You warm them up. It's the fumes come in our windows. It's really loud. And he gets defensive right away.
I would too, John. I want to fucking punch your lights out right now just hearing you tell
He goes, you know how much work I've done for people in this neighborhood?
Yeah.
The woman down the street, she got in a wheelchair. She's older. I put in a handicap ramp for her.
Her name's Gertrude. Do you know her?
Yeah. I didn't ask for anything. And he starts listing off all these neighbors he's done stuff for. And I said,
Tom, Wacky Jack, Slime up on 15th and 23rd.
So my
Dickless Nicholas.
retort.
What's your name?
To
John
this-
Sean? Sean John?
My retort to Tom, and I said, great. Why don't you park in front of those people's houses?
Oh, dude, if I had a gun, I would have shot you point blank in the fucking chest, dude.
I was like, great, you've done all this stuff for all these people. You never done shit for me except for fill up my house with diesel fumes and block my view.
Whoa, dude.
Fucking go park
you
somewhere
talk this
else.
way to a veteran who fucking served. Dude, I got to tell you, I don't know where you're going with the story, but I'm Team Tom, dude.
How do you
you
know-
sound like a fucking dick.
How do you know this guy's a veteran?
I can tell, dude.
This dude's a draft dodger.
Oh, the
for sure.
diesel! I need to. You've got all this diesel coming
Yeah,
in. I've got my EV car. I need to plug in.
Sure.
Ding, ding, ding,
I mean, this
ding.
guy's just like, fuck you, basically.
Dude, I don't blame him.
Hey, you would, buddy.
You got to
would.
win me over here, John.
Yeah, what? Hold on.
Okay, tell me what you baked him to make it right and what you apologize.
No, I was about to punch this dude out.
Oh shit.
I owe this man nothing. He's parking in front of our house all the time. What if I just start parking in front of his house all the time? Like,
what if I bring my PT Cruiser in front?
My PT Cruiser? Get out of Dodge. You're the one driving like fucking like CRVs over here, bro.
I don't
really
even know what
casting
it
stones,
is.
like little compact SUVs.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just
the
saying,
Japanese made it. It's a noble.
If
they're
we're
noble
throwing
people.
rocks, glass houses, buddy.
It's a vehicle.
It sure is.
It ain't pumping diesel. It ain't
Sure
doing
is.
electric.
I wouldn't have minded that.
The CRV, I'm in the middle politically. You drive that car, you're not making a stance on anything. That's where I like to be.
Yeah, that is where you like to be.
I'm like, oh, Imperial Japan with you.
I'll make
MAGA
plenty of
with
statements. Yeah, I'm all about EVs. So anyway, Tom, not a fan of me. I'm not a fan of him.
Even today?
Well,
Sounds like we'll get there.
We'll get there. All right. So this doesn't go well. And so he doubles down. He starts parking even more, taking up every single spot in front of our house, doing the morning routine every day.
Are you standing out there in a pink bathrobe?
No, I'd go, okay.
He turns his car off. He looks at you and goes,
So I go, okay, two can play this game, Tom. Here's what's going to happen. You are illegally parking commercial vehicles. All of these vehicles are over height and length restrictions to park on residential roads. There's signs all over that says no commercial vehicles over, 82 inches or whatever it is, or over this length.
You seem like you're getting a little upset. You need to take that sweater off. You're getting kind of red. Jesus, let's take a break.
I didn't know you were going to side with Tom the whole time.
Well, you didn't. Oh, you didn't make a good case for yourself.
I mean, I don't know what I did wrong to you, Brandon.
You needed to introduce yourself as a character to me first,
so
I could sympathize with you. Because right now you're just like, and then I go out there and I say, ooh, P.U.
Well, this isn't going to get any better for you then.
Oh, God.
So I go, you know what? I'm pretty sure these trucks are taller and longer than is legally allowed.
Please don't tell me that you got a fucking tape measure.
You're goddamn right I did.
You did?
Yeah. So I got out there and I said, let's see how tall these trucks are. Let's see how long these trucks are.
Are you discreetly doing this, or you're kind of looking at them and being like,
oh, I did it. He wasn't outside, but I just went and measured them. I didn't care.
You were just measuring them.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, they're way too tall and way too long. It's not even close. So I go, great, what's the number for parking enforcement?
You asked him?
No.
Oh,
this is me yelling it at the skies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I call parking enforcement. I give him all the license plates. All of a sudden, bing, 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 tickets on all his trucks.
Holy shit, that must have been thousands of dollars.
So I hope so.
Dude, I'm worried that you said his real name, dude. This guy's going to kill you.
So,
this guy's going to kill you. This guy's going to, this guy is stone cold Steve Austin, dude.
I am sure was furious, but, I see him a few days later getting into it with a neighbor 2 doors down.
Oh.
And he thinks that neighbor is the one who called parking enforcement on him because he has run into this exact same issue with multiple other neighbors.
Twist.
And now he's running into it with me.
Oh, my God.
And so this other neighbor, I hear them getting into it across the street, and the guy goes, I didn't call anybody. Like,
I
blah,
picture,
blah, blah.
this is racist, but I picture the other guy being like Vietnamese and the Tom guy like yelling at him and being like, I fucking saved you people from the Viet Cong.
Yeah.
And he's like doing this guy's like, I'm from Thailand.
Sure.
You know, he's like, yeah, I know there. I was in Quezon.
No.
You know, and it's just like, oh, God, this guy, one too many shells.
I think in the TV show version of this, that's right.
Yeah.
But in real life, it was white on white crime.
Oh,
yeah.
The worst kind, right?
Just all old.
Or the best.
White suburban dads.
Yeah.
And so
here's the thing. It's unpredictable, though.
So they get into it. And so Tom thinks it's that neighbor. And I'm like, hey, I'm not going to say
So you're
anything.
watching just kind of the Michael Jackson meme, eating the popcorn and
Exactly.
Thriller kind of thing.
Totally. I'm just like, there they go.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Your gunshots going all over the neighborhood. You're like, he'll never figure out it's me.
So for a while, the trucks disappear.
Wow.
They disappear
Dude,
from the
I
street.
can't even imagine how much that costs for those tickets.
I mean, he had...
If they got towed, that would be
They didn't get
bankrupt.
towed, but there was 6 or 7 trucks, right?
Yeah.
So the trucks disappear for a while. I don't know where he starts parking them, but he's not parking them on our street anymore. And I go, great, okay, awesome. But the trucks slowly start to come back. And I'm just like, you've got to be shitting me. These trucks are coming back again. This is insane, right? What are we going to do here?
Meanwhile, like, what are you doing when you see him on the street? Because you guys inevitably are like passing each other.
We are. And so then,
you're just keeping your head down, or is he giving you a stink eye?
I'm debating what to do. We didn't really have.
Are you practicing nunchucks in the driveway?
Yeah, we didn't really have a relationship before, so we didn't have much one after at this point either. But now I'm like, I don't want to keep calling parking enforcement on this guy. I'm not here to try to bankrupt him, right? I just want him to fucking not be parking diesel trucks in front of my house every day.
You want him to just park in front of somebody else's house?
Park in front of his own goddamn house.
Yeah.
He's got
too many.
He's got
trucks.
too many. He's got too many.
So you want him to buy 6 more houses.
He has a fleet of vehicles. It's almost as though he has a commercial company and a fleet of vehicles that he needs a place to park.
Which is why they have these laws.
Yeah, not a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, so I mean, the bottom line, the guy's breaking the rules. He's breaking the law. And they have those signs for a reason, just like they have signs closer to the beach where it's like, you can't park your RV overnight. Otherwise, the whole town will be an RV town.
But I'm also... I'm struggling with this because I'm like, I don't want to be the neighbor that's saying like, you're breaking the rules all the time. I just want you to not be parking diesel trucks in front of my house every day.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, what am I going to fucking do? So I kind of go, well, fuck, like, I guess just kind of leave it. And then one day I'm outside and I see he didn't do the old truckle shuffle and he's about to get tickets for street sweeping. I see the parking enforcement down the street. And they're coming like one car at a time.
And you have a choice.
Ticketing.
So
I have a choice here.
You have a choice.
And so what do? I go, fuck. I walk over to his house and I knock on his door. And I say, hey, Tom, I think you forgot to move your trucks. It's Thursday.
Let me help you move them.
Do you need to move your trucks before they're coming down the street? And he, okay. And he kind of looks at me sideways, kind of realizes like it's me. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll go move them. Thanks.
Oh, he's probably a drunk.
And so he goes and he moves his trucks. But I can tell because I think he suspects it was me who called. Yeah. So now he doesn't know what the fuck to think about me. It's like I'm gaslighting this guy now. Because he's like, wait, you called parking enforcement on me before, and now you're telling me to move my truck so I don't get a ticket.
Yeah, here's the thing. Your allegiance can't be bought or sold.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm going to do. I'm unreliable.
But I felt like you did a really Christ-like move here. This is a very third act twist, self-sacrifice, falling on the sword
I was
thing.
just like, I don't want him to, like, my goal isn't to try to bleed this man dry.
Yeah, it's not like he did anything very cruel to you.
Exactly. It's just an annoyance. So he moves his trucks that time.
By the way, when you went in there, I picture he's drinking a Bud Light. It's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
He's burning eggs because he fell asleep in the chair. Yeah. Price is Right is on. He's in boxers with hearts on them.
This all adds up.
Kind of thing.
Exactly. And he's got a little dog. He's got a little dog. Little chihuahua that's always yappy.
That was Debbie's.
Yeah. So
she left me for Rico.
Shortly after this, Tom, who's lived in the neighborhood for decades, moves.
What?
And he takes all his trucks with him. And the neighborhood rejoices. Everyone's so happy. Literally, the neighbors come to me and they go, oh, he's leaving. He's taking the trucks. Him out. He's finally taken these trucks. He's been driving us insane with these trucks for years. Yeah. Before you guys moved in, he parked in front of our houses.
Oh, my God.
Now you guys moved in, he started parking in front of your house. So I'm like, great. I was just the newest sacrifice to this neighborhood. Yeah. They'd all been dealing with this motherfucker for years. And then now we move in, and I'm a soft target, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes for me. And so then we finally run this guy out of the neighborhood.
Somebody just needed to help him move the trucks, and that's probably what made him see the error in his ways was the kindness.
You think
that's what it was? Because he saw you come and say, I know this is ridiculous, but I'll help you.
But I'll help you move your stupid trucks.
And that's what made him see the human toll that this has brought upon the neighborhood.
And he was able to have closure, and then he could leave the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He was like an old ghost, and he just needed somebody to do that, and then he could close the door.
So...
Yeah.
Where did he ultimately blow his brains out?
Yeah. So I don't know where he moved.
What beach parking lot did they find his body in with all the trucks?
So I don't know where he moved to, but here's the epilogue to the story.
Ooh.
After he moves, I did talk to one of the neighbors about him, and they said, well, you know his backstory, right?
Oh, my God. John, this is not going to be short.
I said, I don't know his backstory.
Questions.
And they said, well, that concrete company that he has, that was his son's company. His son died in a car accident when he was in like his 30s. And Tom took over the company once his son died. So that's how Tom got this concrete company. It was his son's company. I go, well, that feels shitty.
Yeah.
And then they go, yeah, and then his wife died a few years later. And so that's why he's kind of this old curmudgeon just on his own in the neighborhood with these concrete trucks.
Oh, man. He originally had enough people to move the concrete
Sure.
trucks.
And they all died.
How did the wife die?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Why do you not ask?
Well, how did she die? I don't know. She was old,
Dude,
probably.
you need to ask everybody how they met, where they got married, where they're planning on dying.
Sure.
And what's the weirdest thing they've done in bed. You know?
And their phone number.
Wow. So we don't know where he is. We don't know how his wife died.
I don't know how his wife died, but his son died fairly young. That's how Tom got the concrete company. He inherited all these goddamn
That's
trucks.
usually the other way around.
Yeah.
Inheriting a concrete company from your son.
Yeah, instead of from you would inherit from your dad. So that's how that's the epilogue to that story. I don't know where he ended up now. If you are listening to this podcast and Tom is in your neighborhood, I'm sorry. We ran him out of ours. Good luck with yours.
Tom, I picture Tom in an RV on Sunset Beach, and there's a cop, and he kind of taps. He's like, "You can't park overnight," and he's like, turns the volume down on this podcast.
Sure.
And he goes, "Come on, Reggie," and the little dog hops up and moves on down towards Tijuana.
And he's got a picture of me on the wall with
eyes cut out.
The eyes cut out, yeah. You were up there too, but now it was like, now we just decided to let you go since you sided with him.
Yeah, you saw that I was on Team Tom.
Yeah.
I still am.
Boy, you really sold me out here. Thought we were
Dude,
a team,
I'm
Brandon.
just saying, if some guy just moved to the neighborhood and I had gone through unimaginable tragedy in the last few years and had this, weight, what's the word? Is it an amulet? Around my neck, albatross around my neck of these cement trucks that I have to keep moving and doing the truckle shuffle, and then some, no offense to the way you look right now, but Poindexter comes up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Evie. You may have noticed that my wife and I are remodeling this Long John Silver's into a nice mid-century modern house that doesn't seem to have the character of the tiki bar that was previously here. I don't like the smell of gas. I, in fact, like data centers." And this guy's whole business is cement. Smashing cement and diesel and Tim Allen, Tim the Tool Man. And you're like, "Hi, I'm the future." I'd be like, lay him out, dude. He's Clint Eastwood, man.
We are the polarized sides of America here.
Dude, in Tom's mind, you and your wife are like that couple in Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
Who got the sleek, Zenith television and, all dressed in black, cool. And he's just like, "I'm a man."
And to me, Tom is Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation with the fucking RV.
Shitter's full.
Yeah. So it's like these are the roles we play, I guess.
But that's this town. Long Beach is kind of a mixed bag. You've got the blue collar and you've got the, people who work at the rocket companies and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, it's what it is. You got the guys who work down on the docks, and you got the people who work in the software development.
And we got to fight it out.
Got to duke it out. Tale as old as time.
All right, that's my story.
Great story, man.
Right.
I love that shit.
Well, I'm sorry you sided with Tom. You're an asshole.
I hope, dude. One of these days, I hope I'm at a stoplight and I hear a rumble and I look at a guy and I go, "Tom," and he goes, "Huh?" And then I just drive away.
Sure.
It'll
happen.
I go, "I'm on your side," and he'll go, "What?"
Hey, who, what?
And I go, "Vietnam, man."
Yeah.
And
then he's gonna pull in front of you. He's gonna have a MAGA sticker and fucking, and Epstein didn't kill himself.
I mean, the thing about Epstein is like it does bring people together though, because we're all like, "Yeah, he didn't."
Yeah.
So if people say that, I go, "I agree," and they go, "Yeah, you want to hear more?" I go, "No,
no, I'm good.
I'm going to stop there."
All right, let's take a break. All right, Brandon, we're back.
We're back with They've Gotta Goes.
Gotta Goes.
The part of the show where we do a rapid fire of things that are bothering us this week.
Once again, we've never done anything rapid fire, but we will try.
That's true.
Yeah.
Except when we had babies.
Okay. Where's the rim shot when you need it?
Yeah.
I will go first this week.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So as mentioned, we went to Santa Barbara this past weekend, and one of the things we did is we ended up in this very sweet kind of family-run restaurant that's down the street from the hotel that we were at. We said, hey, why don't we go over to this place? They've got homemade pies at this restaurant. Ooh. We already had dinner. I was like, let's go, I was thinking about your diner recommendation.
Yeah, diner.
I said, hey, let's go get some pies at this restaurant. And so we took the kids, we just walked over there. It was just a couple blocks away. We got there. They were super sweet. We walked in and they were, oh yeah, come on in. Oh, this is so nice. We sit down and then there's a waitress there that looks as though she's probably worked there since the building was made.
Yeah.
She's probably been there for 40 years.
Bless her.
And very kind of curtly and passive aggressively, she goes like, oh, you're just getting pie? We said, yeah. She said, well, we normally don't do that on weekend nights, but I guess we'll do it this time. It's fine.
Oh, wow.
And she kind of walks away. And the kids are kind of dumbfounded. They're like, what the?
Are you kind of standing in the entryway or you sat down at
We had just sat down and I even prefaced it. I said, hey, we're just going to get pie. I hope that's okay. And the guy helping us goes, yes, it's fine. And then she comes over and says that. And I'm like, you could just tell us to leave. It's okay.
She have a name tag?
She did not, no.
Oh, seems like she would have.
Yeah.
She have a pink uniform?
No uniforms. This is like a little family-run restaurant. And the kids are so confused by her demeanor. They really were. They were like, this is so weird.
Yeah, they've never seen a lady act like... people act like that.
Yeah, they see people act, like assholes. And they see people act nice. But this passive-aggressive behavior... Right?
Yeah.
And then when we go to set, so the rest of it's fine. We eat our pie. It's very nice. The rest of the staff's fantastic. And then we go to pay we give a credit card to pay the bill. And she comes back and she goes, oh, you don't have cash? You just have credit card?
She's the waitress or like a manager?
She's a waitress.
Okay.
There.
But she's not
No, but it's kind of one of those places where everybody just kind of helps each other out. It seems like, there's different waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
But she's apparently running the tab, and she kind of comes back. She goes, "Oh, you just have credit card? Do you want to have cash?" And we go, "No, sorry, we don't have cash." I mean, the bill isn't $4; it's like $40.
Yeah.
And I go, "No, we don't have cash." She goes, "Okay, well, it's just going to take a little bit longer to run then." Okay,
that's weird.
What do you want us to fucking do? Like,
yeah, it doesn't say cash only, which there still are places that do that.
Sure, but I mean, that wouldn't be this place for sure. And also, this place is most of the bills, I'm sure, $100, $150.
Is she getting the thing out? And
yeah, right? I'm sure 99% of the people paying here are paying with credit cards.
You should have said, we got nothing but time.
Yeah. And so we kind of pack up and go to leave. And we're walking back now to the hotel with the kids. And now we have to explain what this is. And they're like, what was with that lady?
Yeah.
And we kind of have to explain what passive-aggressive behavior is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's kind of a hard thing to explain to young kids, to a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. But we do explain it to them where we're like, sometimes when people are upset about something, but they don't want to come right out and say it, they'll kind of do it in this weird passive way.
I don't need to explain it to my kids because I do that to my kids.
Sure. So
I go, pretty smart, Henry. Great job.
So, here we go. So as we're explaining it to the kids, I was thinking about this segment. I said, what's got to go is passive-aggressive behavior. Like, I hate this. As I'm explaining it to children, I realize how petty it is and how shitty it is.
Oh.
And the fact that I do it sometimes, too, drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I was...
You are passive-aggressive.
How dare you?
And petty.
I think you're looking in the mirror, buddy.
Yeah.
So, as I was explaining, this fucking nasty-ass waitress to the kids, I just realized, this is a horrible behavior.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be continuing it
at
all. So my gotta go is passive-aggressive behavior, especially around the kids.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it's a attractive quality, and I don't want them to pick it up if at all possible.
And I agree with you, and I also can do that shit. And, the moment you have when you drop your kids off at school after the hell that is getting them ready in the morning, and I'll reflect like, oh, I said motherfucker,
Sure,
or whatever, or I was like, yelled at them.
You're doing the inventory of what happened.
Doing the inventory because you can't help, at least I in my mind, I'm like, what if there's a Sandy Hook shooting at school or something? And the last thing I said to my kid was like, something passive aggressive. That's the worst thing. Like, I mean, when I do an inventory, if I'm like, I yelled at him or I gave him a swat because he was like, running around with a screwdriver and wasn't listening, it's when I said something sarcastic and passive aggressive, because in a way the kids are helpless and they don't even get it. They just feel how mean it is. I don't know how to explain it, and that's probably because the kids also don't understand it, and it's such a superior thing to do as a way of anger.
Because if you're mad, like if I'm mad, I'm just going to be mad, right?
Yeah, just be mad.
It's fine. I'd rather, because I think that's just easier for kids to understand, and I also think it's just a lot more honest.
Yeah,
if
it's
you're mad,
dishonest thing.
If you're mad, be mad,
because
it's okay.
It's dishonest, and then it makes the recipient of it also have to question, what am I doing wrong? Why are they acting like that? And you're thrown in this state of confusion. I think a narcissistic power thing, and again, we all have a tendency to do it, but there are people who live that way because it does give them power, because people are going, why are you mad? Or, well, I can make it right, but it gives them power because part of it is the recipient has an element of mystery that they have the answer for, but they're like, A, what did I do wrong? B, what can I do to solve it? And C, how can I make you feel better? So it gives them all the power. And it is a shitty thing. To wit, I will say my wife, if she was with you, she would have gone, excuse me?
Yeah.
What's your problem? Yeah. And the person would go, oh, and she go, let me talk to your manager. Yeah. I've seen her do this. She'll go, who is that person? And the manager go, oh, that's so. She goes, they're horrible and they should not be here, and they just did this in front of my kids.
Yeah.
They need to go. She would say it right there.
Jenna would
and
be
I
like,
would be like,
Flo's gotta go. That'd be Jenna's gotta go.
Because she's done this to doctors of like, just they say mean shit, and she goes, excuse me, you cannot do that anymore. I'm calling whatever at the hospital and the union rep, like, that's horrible. You cannot talk to people this way. She's just like, you cannot do that to people. And she will make them go.
Sure.
They should put my wife in charge of the fucking Epstein punishments.
Your wife is a who?
She would be like, you're a chairman at Citibank? Okay, sit down. All right, come over here, everybody. And she would just fucking rip these guys apart.
Love it.
Great. But I agree with you, dude. It's got to go. And we got to be really vigilant as adults to not do it to our kids, because it's a horrible thing to do to them. It sounds like it's not. Like, it's just...
Well, here's the thing.
It teaches them that,
I never thought about it before, because we all do it. And I don't think I'm a huge... I don't think I do... I'm not passive-aggressive with the kids regularly. It's not something... I don't think this is a big offense of mine that I do all the time. It's not a systemic problem in our house. But I do it sometimes, and I don't really think about it.
And you can do it to your spouse, too.
Of course. We all do, right? I think it's kind of it's an innate thing, right? But I never really thought about it till it happened with this waitress. So in a way, she kind of did us a service, because I got to see somebody else do it to my kids.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, it made me recognize it for what it was, which was really shitty. Yeah. And it's like, she just could have said, hey, I'm sorry, guys, we don't just do pie on the weekends. We got to turn the tables. And we would have been fine with it. And the kids would have understood that, and it would have been fine.
But you saw it done to somebody powerless that you really want to protect.
And instead, the kids are powerless to it, and they're left with this weird feeling that they don't really know how to process, where they're going, is that woman nice, or is she not nice? Yeah. Does she like me? Does she not like me?
That's very confusing.
Why is she being kind of mean to us, but not really?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
and I was just
very,
like, this
very
sucks.
uncomfortable.
Just be forthright with your feelings or your actions. It's fine.
Yeah,
kids
and you're also...
humans can process it.
You're trying to teach your kids to delineate that, and then when they're confused, you see how helpless your children are, which is very infuriating, especially when you're talking about their safety and other more serious situations.
Yeah, because this was a very low-stakes situation, right? And they're with us, so we can explain it, and they're comfortable. It's fine.
But you got to teach them to recognize that, and then to also have boundaries, because I've worked, in many places and had chefs or managers who were very passive-aggressive or mean, and really hurting people's feelings, and people who worked in the kitchen, or younger people who were the staff, and they have the power. And so they can be abusive, and abusive doesn't always mean like sexually or physically or even verbally, but just with their attitude, holding people hostage with their anger.
Totally.
Of like, they're mad in the kitchen, or the restaurant isn't going the way they want, and they're growling and grumpy, and you can see the whole staff kind of hair standing up on their neck and walking on eggshells. And you're kind of like, do they know that they're doing this? Do they like seeing everybody tiptoe around them? Or are they so myopic they don't see that they're like creating such a toxic environment for everybody by their passive aggressiveness?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to know. You kind of get into armchair psychology, right?
But it's like, grow up and be nice. Be nice to people. Or if you're mad, just say, and I have to do this too. I'm really frustrated right now. I need to take a break, or I'm under a lot of pressure. I'm sorry if I said that, instead of just like hemming and hawing, huffing, grumping, saying backwards things to make somebody go, what? It's terrible behavior.
I think, I think it's being more mature in your behavior. And I think that's how I recognize it, especially this woman was, probably in her late 60s or 70s, right? And I just recognized how immature it was. And I'm, 30 years her junior or whatever. Yeah. And I'm going, grow up. Like, if you're up and happy about something, if you don't like us, if you don't want us here, just grow up, use your words. We can take it. You can handle it. You don't be so immature in your demeanor and how you're treating people.
You could have said that, and she would have said, I'm so sorry. I just hate when people come in to just get pie, because you see the big county pie eating contest is going on, and I ain't got no tips from the businessmen because just the pie eaters are coming.
All these pie
eaters.
eaters.
Could have said, we'll tip you an extra, And then she would have said, and the other thing is, see, I'm on the run because I faked my death because my husband's a no good cement mixer.
You would have got some great backstory. Oh, it's Tom's ex.
I had to run.
Oh God.
Otherwise, I'd have to keep doing the truckle shuffle, and your kids go, Daddy, what's the truckle shuffle?
Another time. Listen to the podcast, kids.
Okay.
All right, you're procrastinating. What's your gotta go?
This is a big one for me, John.
Okay.
And that is, I only have one tonight.
Okay, let's hear
it. And
it's
very important. It's a thing that's...
oh my God.
It's very dear to my heart.
Is this like
serious.
Last week where you said pot is your gotta go?
No, this is serious. And that is, a very important person died. And I don't think... And his name was James Vanderbeek. And I don't think enough people wrote on his Instagram how important he was to them. Because he was a really important guy, and he had an important show called Dawson's Creek that shaped a generation.
Brennan.
And he was also a great father. He has 5 beautiful children he's leaving behind in Austin with his gorgeous wife. And he did an appearance on Dancing with the Stars, and he was so relatable.
Okay, I can't take this.
What?
Do you not recall last week when you specifically called out people for getting emotional about celebrities dying? This was your gotta go last week.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember this?
I know that I feel lately very strongly that people need to comment on celebrities' Instagram pages who died that meant a lot to them. And I was going through the comments on James Vanderbeek's, and there were not enough people who saying what he meant.
I also saw those comments. Would this have anything to do with the fact that shortly after we recorded last week, and your gotta go was people who post on celebrities who died, how much it affected them. Shortly after that, your own wife, Miss Jenna Ogborn, posted on James Vanderbeek's saying how much it hurt that he had passed and how much he meant to her.
Well, now that you say, but I guess I do think about that. But a lot of the people that died these last few years were not that important.
Sure.
The Queen of England, James Earl Jones.
Jesse Jackson.
Nobody's like, I remember I wanted to make out with him. Mm-hmm. I kind of changed a little bit because I do feel like James Vanderbeek is important, and he was very important to my wife, who has a nice haircut. And I just feel like if you're listening to this, people need to, they got to go if they don't comment on James Vanderbeek's or like my wife's comment on James Vanderbeek's Instagram.
I have a feeling your wife's listening to this episode right now.
She does not like the show, and she doesn't listen because it makes her so uncomfortable because I'm going to be canceled.
Sure.
So she literally has no idea what we're talking about.
Then what brownie points are we trying to get here, buddy?
It's just in case I die.
Okay. and this gets submitted.
And that's my gotta go for the week. No, I have a real gotta go that is I don't even know how to explain this. It is a technological thing, but I like everybody hate ads, and you get them on social media. But there's this type of ad where it's probably AI, but they lead you down. They have they're like Russian dolls. So you're watching this ad, and it's a guy who looks like he's on a podcast, but he's not. And he goes, he's not even really looking at the camera. But
I already know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Okay, this is what he does. He goes, it's a guy or a girl, and they go, people aren't talking enough about what this lady's saying here. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to another person in a different location and say it's a lady and she's in a hot tub, and she goes, people are not using ChatGPT right because they're using it like Google, but they need to do this one simple trick.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to another thing that's like a fake TED Talk, and then there's some other motherfucker who's AI, but they're doing photorealistic, and the guy's giving a speech, and he's like, do me a favor, quit your job, disappear for a month, and take these AI classes, 30-day AI challenge, or whatever. And then it's another thing, and it doesn't end.
Multiple layers deep.
I don't even know what the company is.
Yeah.
Because if you click on it, you can't skip back and forth in the video, which is another thing I hate. But it will be like, XE time, sim smile time, or whatever, and it's like, take this class or whatever. But I hate the ad within the ad within the ad. I hate the way they're all done. I actually turned, and I am fascinated by AI, but I always say not interested in the ads, and I'm very interested in a class action suit, because Instagram does say, you will not see this ad again, and you do.
You know what? It's funny.
But I've turned off and blocked AI in my filters because I just don't like having it pop up all the time, because regardless it will. But I keep seeing these fucking ads, and I'm like, if anybody's listening, there's any class action attorneys, let's get going on all these ads that you say not interested. And unless if you say offensive, and then it goes, is it child pornography? And you're like, no, I just don't want to see these stupid ads again. And particularly those ones are so offensive because it's slop on slop that's trying to get you to then take classes in slop to make the slop. You know what I mean?
I do. It makes you appreciate.
And I'm not totally against AI. I use LLM and a few things, but the slavery state that will come from it, not a fan.
No, it's just so funny because I think it makes you appreciate the ads of the past, which I never thought we'd say.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I actually appreciate the produced Madison Avenue commercials of yore.
Yeah.
Because at least they fucking made sense, right? There was a product they were trying to sell you.
Yeah.
And people got in a room and thought about the best way to sell or pitch a product to a certain demographic, and they created ads around it. Some of them were great. Some of them were very artistic. Some of them sucked, sure.
Yeah.
But they were trying. At least they were trying, and it would made coherent sense. Now, this, I think you put it great, this Russian nesting doll of slop on slop, where you're like, I don't even know what you're fucking trying to sell me here.
And on top of that, the nesting doll keeps going because, and I've done this, you want to know, like, what is it or how much? Like, say it's something I actually might be interested, like this workout program for dads over 40 or whatever. Instead of just clicking and being like, how much is it for it's like, take this quiz. How old are you? Do you work out this much? What's your body? And then you're like going, and you're like, I look at my phone, I'm like, this has been 25 fucking minutes.
Yeah, they got you.
It's like, and then I just close it all down, you know? I miss the old school. Certainly the greatest ads, as we know, were the Super Bowl growing up, and it's not just me who said it, but more than half the Super Bowl ads this year were just like, you wouldn't even know what they were. They weren't products, they were services, or they were selling AI or selling something. You're like, what is this? They want to sell us putting Ring cameras connected to a data center so we can find 5 pets a year.
Yeah.
Or they can like track everything on the street when the Justice Department is already trying to subpoena all big tech to get all the data for anybody that said anything wrong about ICE, which, by the way, we're big supporters. John works for it. No. But that it's like they're trying to, that these people are trying to sell us the surveillance state.
Yeah.
Like we're idiots.
It makes you nostalgic for the Budweiser frogs,
the Taco Bell,
right?
The Budweiser, the junk.
Yeah,
that's
like
what America was.
There's a product that we make. we're going to make a funny ad that
Yeah.
makes you think about our product and then want to buy it, and it associates it with a tone or a vibe in some way. Like,
They
I
had a
miss
sense
that
of
so
cinema
much.
to them, and I get that these little AI slop ads on Instagram, a lot of it's all user generated. You know, I even have a few thousand followers on my Instagram, and I get offers to do like kind of film yourself, do this, and we'll give you $100 or whatever. And I'm like, eventually, maybe I'll do something, but not for these shitty rinky-dink things that aren't funny, and they're just like they want you to hold up. You know, like I took these mushrooms that help with my I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
I like when
Flash cut to you selling supplements
I
6
will.
months from now.
As you can see, I mean, something I believe in, sure. But I just think that it's like we grew up at a time in the 90s where like our country was great, but it also was garbage, and we were like happy with the fast food and the skateboards and the Madison Avenue thing they were selling. But also that's kind of what my childhood was. Like it kind of looked like that. It felt like that. They were real things. And that we're just getting fed garbage and being like, you should get more garbage. And it's like, I don't want it. I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. It's got the uncanny Ick Valley factor to it. You guys got to fuck off. No thanks. They all got to go.
It's got to go, Brandon.
And let's do legal means to make it go, dude. Let's class action suit that. And they got to go from last week of the AI music slop.
Yep.
Like that's got to go too.
We're
man.
looking for representation, everyone.
We're looking for representation, baby.
All right, you want to take a break?
Let's take a break and come back with some opposite recommendations.
All right.
Welcome back to Old Gays. Things only old gays remember. Judy Garland.
All right. We're going to do recommendations now. Would you like to go first or second?
Yeah. I know you hate names, John, but this one's going to have a lot of them.
All right.
The first of which is my dear friend Eric East out in Texas. Shout out to him.
Tell us about Eric East.
Well, Eric East works at the water department, and I was chatting with him about water.
Okay.
And water in Los Angeles in particular, and of course Chinatown.
Chinatown
The
came up.
history of the water and where we are and drying up them lakes.
That is a very water and California. I went down a rabbit hole on that a few times. I've read a few different books about water in California. It's all very interesting.
Well, the geology of California too, but we've lost 80% of our listeners, and I look forward to losing the remaining 20%, which is I love history. I love oral histories, and oral histories are really easy to read books because they just flow really well and they're quite straightforward. And even the podcast that you and I made, Telephone Stories, is an oral history of Michael Jackson, but an oral history of the criminal cases of Michael Jackson. And it was structured and engineered that way because it's entertaining to me.
It's way more entertaining.
Having
Absolutely.
the people at the front lines who live the cases tell it in their conflicting accounts. Some of the people on the show.
Yeah, you get to the characters of it, give it so much more color and make it so much more palatable, right?
Well, and they knew the people in the front row, and they disagreed on things. So less, I wouldn't say less high stakes, but talking to my friend Eric East in Texas, who used to live here, and we were talking about water, and we kind of shared similar memes and stuff like that. And I said, Eric, have you ever read East of Eden or West of Eden? He thought East of Eden, the Steinbeck. And I said, no, Jean Stein, who used to be an editor at the Paris Review. Sadly, she took her own life a few years back, but she wrote a number of books. She wrote one on Edie Sedgwick, who was Andy Warhol's muse. And that was turned into a movie. And she wrote this other great book called West of Eden, and it kind of is my most recommended book. In conversation with people over the years, I probably bought more than a dozen, maybe even 24 copies of this book that I've mailed to people or handed off copies of my own, including, I think, one of my longer conversations when I first got to know your wife, who's an avid reader. I was like,
yes,
you gotta read this book. So I ordered several copies, and I was like, oh my God, I have one sitting out today, and I was like, I gotta plug this book, West of Eden, and it appeals to so many people because it's this slice of pie of Southern California, and it's these major families. So there's the Doheny family, who are part of the Teapot Dome scandal and kind of were an oil family. They built most of Huntington Beach and Pasadena.
Yeah, they're huge. I mean, there's so many streets and buildings named after the Doheny family.
The Doheny Mansion, which there was a tragedy in that should be a movie unto itself, of one of the Doheny guys' closeted sons who killed the male secretary who was having an affair with, so they wouldn't testify during the Teapot Dome bribery scandal.
There Will Be Blood based
There
on the
Will
Doheny?
Be Blood is based
Loosely.
in part loosely on the Doheny Sr. And there's the brothers Warner, the Warner brothers who started Warner Brothers Pictures.
Yep.
There's Jean Stein's own family. There's Oscar winner Jennifer Jones, who kind of covers the Hollywood glamour side of it, who ended up marrying Norton Simon, who was a magnate to Heinz Ketchup, and ended up kind of bringing in the political power of industry to California and Southern California, and then art collection, like with the Getty family. But you're getting all these.
So this book brings in all these stories.
Each chapter, there's 4 parts to the book, and each chapter is one of the families. So there's the Doheny family.
Got it.
There's the Warner family. There's Jane Garland, who was kind of the socialite family, which is so fascinating because that chapter will just talk about the dinner parties this bitch had. And she would go change outfits 6 times in the course of the evening for like different courses of the meal. Everybody was blotto drunk.
Sure.
But there's so much tragedy and darkness in the stuff too that's so like, there's just all these mysteries, because there'll be like a brother-in-law and she'll say like, brother to Jane or whatever, and he'll be like, well, we never knew what they did in the basement when they found her.
Oh God.
But that's when they found Sam in the lake, and we never talked about that. But it's like these
like
families that are like the Hearsts,
Yeah, I was gonna say like Hearst Castle. I bet there's a lot of young starlets in here that were never heard from again.
Well, it's not as like, there's an intimacy to it because it's not as gossipy of like what happened on Sunset Drive, which I kind of made it sound like when I did that voice, I guess, but it's more like these families. So you're hearing these kind of closed off red carpet families of yore, and their living relatives like talk about their memories of the relative. Like, I remember grandmother, we called her, she always had this peach perfume or whatever. And so you kind of get this, she leads you. She's just such a great editor. That's why I was so sad that she took her own life, and I think her daughter did too, Jean Stein.
Horrible.
But there's actually a chapter on her family in it, and you kind of like see that self-harm kind of ran in the family. It sounds like a tragedy. There is a lot of tragedy to it, but it's just a beautiful oral history. And it's so entertaining if you're into true crime, if you're into Hollywood, if you're into biographies on industrial leaders and technology and in film. And West of Eden, I recommend it. The book's probably 10 years old, but I've never bought more copies of a book that I've given away that people have then reached back out and said, God, I ate it up in a night.
Great recommendation, man. I'll totally read it. Great.
Cool.
Love it.
You can have this one.
I mean, it looks like you got this from the library.
I got it at a used bookstore. And a lot of them, they're library donations.
Okay, I was going to say, is that how you keep getting copies? You just keep renting it from the library and not returning it?
I keep stealing from the library. What's yours?
Okay, so I am reading a new book right now that I'm really enjoying, but I'm going to save it because I haven't finished it. I'm going to save it for next week. So I am going to give a recommendation this week, which is it's not a podcast or a book. It's an action activity. As I mentioned, we went out of town this weekend, and while we did our trip, I was talking to Catherine on the way back, and I said, you know what? Leaving town on long weekends, leaving on the Friday, coming back on the Monday, you got a 3-day weekend for Veterans Day or Labor Day or whatever it is, that is for the birds. Do not do that.
Wait, so what do you do?
So let me explain. You leave on Friday, at least it's got to be like this all over the country, but specifically anywhere in Southern California, you are going to sit in traffic for 5 hours to get anywhere you want to go. It's absolutely insane. I know it's worse here than other places. So if you're in another place, but you have your own version of this, it takes you 2 to 3 times longer to get anywhere. You lose half the goddamn weekend. You're stressed out.
You just want a piece of pie.
That's all you wanted. It's no fun. You've tainted the experience of the weekend with this crazy traffic. So my recommendation is, fuck it, man. Leave on the Saturday. Come back on the Sunday. Make a short weekend of it. And then you've got Monday to kind of get back into the swing of things before work, right?
Wait. So because the Monday's off.
That's the long weekend. I know you don't have a normal day job, but for us,
I've never worked a day
for
in
us
my
daily
life.
grinders here, Monday through Friday, we get Mondays off for long weekends.
Leave on Saturday.
So leave on Saturday, do a short weekend, come back on Sunday, right? Or you could even do Sunday and Monday. Do not leave on Friday. Just call it a wash. It's not worth it.
What if you leave? Because when you're leaving, are you leaving after work on Friday? Is that what most people do?
That's what most people do. Most people get
Friday
off, and everybody thinks they've got it worked out where they're going to leave a little early on Friday.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
What if you leave Friday morning?
Everybody does it. Starting Friday at 8 a.m., the roads are packed. You're not going to get ahead of it. It's impossible. Leave on Saturday. Just have a nice night on Friday. Stay home. Come back early from the trip. Just do a short trip, and it is so much more enjoyable. So that is my recommendation. Just call that Friday a wash. Even call that Monday a wash. Just do a short overnighter. So much better. You will enjoy your weekend far more than if you do the horrible traffic, grind on Friday and Monday. So that's my recommendation.
That's great, John. I love it. I think we got to do shout outs.
Okay.
Shout out to diners.
Shout out to Flo, who the passive-aggressive waitress in her 70s.
I don't want to shame older women, especially those...
Not on the mic.
Yeah, not on the mic, but especially those who maybe aren't in the most desirable place and time in their lives. But it sounds like kindness could go a long way. So what I always like to do is pray for people.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So I'll remember her. I'll remember Flo and her prayers. What's the name of the diner?
Clementine's.
Where's that on the way?
It's in Carpinteria.
It's in Carp. Clementine's in Carp. Yeah. All right. Well, next time I go by, I'm going to go by there. I'm going to see if Flo's there, and I'll say
I really hope our listeners go in. And
they go in and they go,
please,
hey, I'm buying one piece of pie.
Please go in on a Friday and Saturday night and just order pie and pay with a credit card, please.
Oh, it was a Saturday night?
It was a Sunday night.
Ugh, I would have been mad too.
There were plenty of times. I don't want to get into it, Brandon.
Were they busy though?
No, they were fine.
So there's nothing going on. I don't know what this.
That's why the other
doing.
waiter was like, "It's fine. I know what she's talking about."
Anyway, because she doesn't. Maybe she didn't even work here. That could have been a thing. She's one of those. She was a street lady.
This isn't part of shout outs.
Okay,
you're going too far back here.
Okay, we're not going to shout out Flo, but we'll shout out the other guy who was like, I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, that guy. He got it.
Shout out to our neighbors. R.I.P. Shout out to the old folks. Yeah. Shout out to Shelly Davis, who was actually Reverend Jesse Jackson's caretaker and right-hand man who helped me set up that interview.
Yeah, shout out to the family of Jesse Jackson, right?
Yeah, and, he's the guy. He was obviously a controversial figure. My dad hated Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, he did.
He used to call him a racial ambulance chaser.
I can't believe. Was your dad so disappointed in you that you had interviewed him?
I think he was like, I don't think I'll listen to that part of the show. I was like,
skip
okay.
Right there. Yeah.
Like I'm fucking the guy who marched with Martin Luther King. Yeah. So I love my dad, but I do kind of hope that like if heaven is real and if real estate is an issue and you have to have roommates that my dad ends up like having to share space with Jesse Jackson.
Coming to terms with it.
Well, that's I don't want to get too sidetracked, but as far as race and politics, like my dad, his greatest regret was that he didn't take this post office job that he was offered. He did all the testing and stuff, and he ended up doing some sales job that was dead end. And 30 years went by, and he was like, I could have retired by now if I did that post office thing. Yeah. And in my mind, when he died, because he was so right wing, and he was a wonderful guy, but he had these politics that was so strange. That if I believe truly, if he took that post office job, he would have become a Democrat because he would have worked with black people. Yeah. He would have been in a union and he would have been like, yeah, I got to protect myself. Instead, he's like, I don't like unions. And you know what? Reparations, and all this stuff. And he'd be like, that I'm like, he should have just taken the post office job.
Shout out to the U.S. Postal Service.
Shout out to the U.S. Postal Service. They're doing the Lord's work. Yeah. They're the first institution in the United States following our independence,
Shout out to Tom, my old neighbor, wherever he may be.
Wherever he is at that old cement mixer in the sky. Shout out to the creeps making these ads. Your time's about to be up.
No, I
with
don't want
these slop ads.
These fucking guys don't deserve a shout
They
out.
don't do the shout out.
No, absolutely not.
Come here, Gracie.
They're not even real humans.
Gracie.
Brandon's trying to shout out
I'm
his
trying
dog
to shout
right
out
now.
my dog, but she's doing such a good job not coming over
Brandon's dog who stayed off camera the whole
Stayed
time.
off camera, like we said.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
You feeling good?
Yeah. Shout out to the old neighbors. I think we said that.
Shout out to the old neighbors.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Listen, They're Fine is produced and edited by Wyatt Gray. Original music by John Ahern. John's Instagram is @JohnAhernMusic. And you can find my inappropriate parenting on Instagram @Bubba Ogborn. You can also find our recommendations linked in the show notes. If you have feedback or topic suggestions, our show email is listenthey'refine@gmail.com. And our TikTok and Instagram handles are @ListenThey'rFine. If you made it this far without calling Child Protective Services on us, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps other questionable parents find us. Share the chaos, tell a friend, tell your therapist, tell anyone who needs to feel better about their own parenting choices. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.